The beginning of and the entirety of Mark Hollis's press conference from just a handful of moments ago in East Lansing, where he announced his retirement. Let's listen in.
I have a couple opening statements, and we'll take some questions afterwards and go from there. Michigan State University is a great institution, and its greatest strengths are the people that call themselves Spartans. Many, if not all, of those Spartans are hurting, especially the courageous survivors of Larry Nassar's abuse. My heart breaks thinking about the incomprehensible pain all of them and their families have experienced. Along with many, I was brought to tears as I listened to the statements. There simply aren't the right words to express our sympathy. Our campus and beyond has been attacked by evil, an individual who broke trust, and so much more. As a campus community, we must do everything we can to ensure that this never happens again, to make sure that any sexual assault never occurs. But to do so, we must listen and learn lessons. Only then can we truly begin the process of healing. I've tried to do this since first learning about the abuse in September of 2016. At the beginning of my tenure as athletic director, I established a mission statement, one with the student athlete at its core. Our first priority has always been their health and safety. That focus, along with our core values, has guided our department each and every day. Values such as respect, accountability, and perhaps most importantly, integrity, have served as the foundation through good times and bad, perhaps at no time more than just the last few days. I spoke to my administrative staff, coaches, many student athletes, and most importantly, my wife Nancy and my children over the course of the past week. They are all incredible people, amazing Spartans. I've always been a Spartan, and I always will be. It's been an absolute honor to guide the athletic department for the last decade. That being said, today I'm announcing my retirement. This was not an easy decision for my family. And you should know, and you should not jump to any conclusions based upon our decision. Listen to the facts. I'm not running away from anything. I'm running towards something. Comfort, compassion, and understanding for the survivors in our community. Togetherness, time, and love for my family. Much attention has recently been given to the outside investigations into the university and the athletic department, including those both by the Michigan Attorney General and the NCAA. Let me be clear that in retirement, I will fully cooperate with these and any other investigations. As a university, we must focus on the healing of the survivors and our entire community. That's my statement. You all understand that there's much litigation that's currently going on. I know every word is scrutinized, but I want to be open with you like I think I've always been through my tenure in answering questions that you may have, and I will do the best of my ability to answer them.
Mark, you didn't know about Nassar until 2016. To the best of my knowledge, you've never met him. So how has this resignation helped the process?
As you ask, you're correct. And in the statement that I made to the FBI and to the MSU police, I did not know about this prior to the September 2016 article. I was not informed of the 2014 investigation. At the same time, there's so much pain and there's so much healing that needs to be done. In a small way, Nancy and I believe that this may help that process. And I want to be clear that I was not asked to retire. I don't believe I was pressured in any way to retire. This is a choice that Nancy and I made, and we're going to move forward with our lives and see what's around the corner. So our choice was for the right reasons.
Mark, when did you make the choice, and what was there a point when you said this is? Was there an event or anything in the last week that made it clear to you that this is what you needed to do?
No, there's not an event, and you know, the past year has been a challenge at Michigan State. I feel good with every decision I made at the time I made it based on the information that I had available to me. I just think when you look at your wife at night, she sees the toll that not just this but other things have on you. But watching the survivors' statements, you know, that was impactful, I think, on everyone. But there's not a specific thing, and you know, retirement is something everyone looks forward to. This isn't all that much earlier than we had hoped for, and we're both very comfortable with the decision.
Mark, when you told staff, coaches, some of them very close friends of yours, what was their reaction? And did anyone try and say maybe you shouldn't do this?
Yes, many people told me that I should not do this. There are things that happen in your life. You get messages. I know this is the right time. I know it's the right time to let people heal. I know it's the right time for me and Nancy. I have 3 children that mean the world to me. They're incredible kids, and I don't like to see them in pain either. So I don't even know if I'm answering your question, but that's
Mark,
where I'm at.
You've heard those victim impact statements, and there were a number of Michigan State athletes involved. I guess what went through your head hearing those and knowing that happened, and it wasn't necessarily on your watch. So a lot of those were earlier, but I guess what, as the leader of this department, you're thinking?
I think what you heard was the emotion, the breadth of the pain that he caused. For the first time, learning some of the names, and that whole process was, I think, very emotional for a lot of people. As you look at the medical services that are provided, the MSU health team is contracted with us to provide medical coverage for our student athletes. And for a variety of reasons, we don't have access to information for good reasons. And listening to those was the first time for many of us to know, you know, how many student athletes were at least that came forward in that process. But what it really showed to me was the expansive path of evil that he had, way beyond MSU and way beyond East Lansing, and it horrible.
Is there anything you wish you would have done differently, or the university would have done differently throughout this process?
Again, based on the information that I had at the time I had it, there's nothing that that I had as far as making a decision. You know, I think it's very, when you have an opportunity to go back and reassess anything, there's going to be opportunities for improvement, which is one of our core values, is to always improve. The story is horrible, as I just said, and it's the university has to assess that. Every decision I made was a good one at the point when I made it. Like everyone, you get frustrated that there's not enough dialogue about it, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have this opportunity to respond at least to what I know. And I am not privy to a lot of the information that is being discussed at the university level. But it's, you know, what I would ask, I've been interviewed by the FBI. I've been interviewed by MSU police. I've responded to every question, and many other people have as well. As an AD, you learn very quickly: don't investigate, don't prosecute, and don't judge. Allow those that do that process to do it. And then you have to make decisions on the outcome of that process. So it's taken some time. I think the growth and the magnitude of the abuse has evolved and become bigger than I think anyone imagined, and that's created a lot of that challenge.
Mark, did you ever meet Larry Nassar? Do you think you should have been told about the 2014 report? And just as a Michigan State grad who's done so much here, to have this be the end of your career, your emotions about that, if I can squeeze in three.
Yeah, when you ask that question, I don't believe that I've ever met him. Relative to the 24 investigation, that is not my choice on where those get shared. You know, in hindsight, you ask yourself that question, but that was not my choice at that time.
Mark, we know with Luana that her retirement allows her, she's going to stay on and be part of the university. Are you going to in any way stay connected? Will you be a consultant? Will you be there for Greg? Can you just talk about maybe anything role?
My last day in the office is Wednesday. I'll obviously be here to cooperate with any investigation that's taking place by any law enforcement agency, NCAA. I'll always be a Spartan, but beyond that, no, I don't have any role at Michigan State after Wednesday.
Mark, what did Kathy Clegg say to you when she decided to retire, and the complaints that came to you around that time as well? How did you guys handle that?
The conversation with Kathy Clegg occurred following an allegation of some comments that were made in a meeting in September of 16 that pertained to her being extremely vocal in her support, to the point of asking student athletes to write sympathy cards. When I was given that information by our general counsel, and as a result of the police investigation, the conversation was very short.
Mark, what about the 2 athletic trainers who were named by some of the survivors as brushing off allegations in the 90s, early 2000s, and the fact that they're still on staff? Is there any response to that?
As I mentioned, there's much litigation occurring. That is in that realm. I'm not privy to all those conversations. I have been asking for outcomes of those, and have not received anything to this point. So that is involved in the litigation process.
Why not Why not stay on? You got the heart. I see the heart, the sympathy. Why not stay on and try to push Michigan State through this?
Because of care. Everybody's wired in different ways. And again, I don't want anyone to perceive that I'm walking away. I'm walking forward. I'm walking forward in a way that, based upon my deep assessment, gives the survivors, first and foremost, this athletic department, this university, and my family an opportunity to heal and step forward. There's nothing more than I've enjoyed than the last 10 years. Again, my wife Nancy and I, our 3 kids, not an easy decision. But when you look at the scope of everything, that's the reason I made a choice to retire now, and I hope that it has a little bit of helping that healing process.